Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick video for you guys. I've seen a lot of people making some of these fire discs, and I used one in my mock bug out video a couple weeks ago, and they work really well. So these little fire discs, you just take a simple cotton facial wipe. I got this from the dollar store today for $1. And then you get a candle like this from the dollar store. You can crack off a piece of the candle and put it inside of a glass candle holder, and then put that on top of this little coffee heater here. So this is used to heat coffee, but you can also get ones that melt candles and things like that. The reason this is red is I used a little bit of this paraffin lamp oil. I have seen some people who recommend using the lamp oil, but I ran some tests with one of my friends, and I really couldn't see a difference between the just straight up wax or throwing in like 30% lamp oil or something like that. I really couldn't see a difference in the burn time or the size of the flame or anything like that. So I really don't think that this is necessary, and I've just made like 40 of these using a little bit of the lamp oil, and so this is still red. But these are really easy to make. You just take your little facial wipe here, and then I usually just take a toothpick and stab it on just one corner. I guess if it's possible to stab a corner of a circle. Sorry, that didn't work right over there. Gotta kind of go through one of the little holes that they put in there. And then you just dip it once, and then you can probably dip it again after this, but you really don't need to. And then I just usually lay it on some tin foil. So the reason I use tin foil is because I think with wax paper it would just stick to the wax. The wax on the facial wipe would just melt the wax in the paper excuse me, and stick to it. So this is a really simple process. I find that these burn for about 5 to 6 minutes a piece with a pretty decent flame. And the nice part about this is that it's really cheap. You can you don't have to have this little coffee warmer. You could just do it on your stove top, and do a double boiler with some water or something like that in the actual pot, and then have a little glass container in there. So I think all in all, this is like $1, this is $1, and then the glass or something would be $1. So for like $3, you can make 100 of these things really easily, and they burn, like I said, for about 6 minutes a piece. So this, I've seen a lot of people selling these, and there's really no reason to buy them. I have some ones that I bought from the Pathfinder school because I wanted to test if there was a difference between them, and they did come very bright red, very vibrant maroon. But I tested those with my friend, and I couldn't tell the difference between theirs and the ones that I made. So I really wouldn't recommend buying those from them unless you just want the tin that it comes in is actually quite nice. So the tin is a nice little bonus, but really you can just make these super simple by yourself, and you see how fast they go. I mean, if you could get up a little bit way to stab these a bit better, you could get to go even faster. I didn't even puncture this one that well. But then I'll go outside once these are cooled down, and I'll show you guys how they can be started with a ferro rod and a lighter and stuff, and we can kind of see a comparison in the dips and things like that. So I'll probably double or triple dip one of these, and then we'll compare 1, 2, or 3 dips and see if there's a difference on that. But I'm betting it's not going to be a whole lot. So yeah, the nice part about this is when you ignite it, you just bust them up a little bit and ruffle up the cotton inside, and the fibers get exposed, and you can easily start that with a ferro rod. I haven't tried it with a flint and steel, but with a ferro rod it definitely works. So the reason I'm using this little coffee guy instead of my stove is, one, I've already got it, so it's convenient. And two, it's a lot safer because if you heat up wax too much, it can spontaneously combust. So if you heat it directly on a stove, there is a chance of you doing that, though I think that chance is quite slim. But if you do a double boiler, do some water, and be careful about it, I really don't think there's much of a chance of you hurting yourself. So these last two, I'm gonna go ahead and dip them twice after it's cooled down, and then the last one I'll dip 3 times once it's cooled down again. You know, why don't we'll start at the front here once it's cooled down. So this does take a bit to cool down. This one's still plenty squishy, so it's definitely not ready just yet. Okay, these first couple of guys are fairly solid now. They're still a little bit malleable, but I'm just going to go ahead and double dip these. The first two here. I mean, really, you don't get very much more wax when you do that. But I think we'll see we might see a bit of a difference between the double and the triple dip. But again, we tested out the paraffin lamp oil, and I really didn't see a difference. I got that paraffin lamp oil from Hobby Lobby, in case anybody's interested. It took quite a bit of searching to find this, and it was a lot cheaper locally than it was online. I think online it was like 20 bucks or something. This is like 9 bucks. But I really don't see much of a difference between this and the just regular wax. So I'm gonna let these cool back down. We'll do a triple dip on this guy over here, and then we'll go test these 3 out, light them at about the same time, and we'll see the difference between them in the burn time. Okay, these guys have cooled down quite a bit. Let's do the triple dip on this one. And you can already see it's quite a bit thicker. You can barely see the pattern on the one side. I mean, you can compare these. These are pretty different, but we'll see how much it's worth it. And again, when if you thicken these up, that means there's less you can dump in your pack. But then again, you could just tear them in half or something like that. So there's pros and cons to doing it that way. But this is mostly just an experiment so you guys can kind of see the fire disc by itself, just the way it works, and maybe a couple of options and some of this paraffin lamp oil here, even though it really doesn't seem to make much of a difference. All right, I'm outside and I've broken up these a little bit. This is the single dip, double dip, and the triple dip. Got my watch here, which I'll go ahead and start the timer for you guys. We'll get testing on these things. I have to block the wind a little bit. That caught up nice and quick. Just gonna use this guy to light it. I haven't exposed enough fibers on this one. There we go. This is the triple dip. Come on. Having a hard time getting this triple dip guy. Woo, burning me. I'm having a hard time getting that triple one lit. It's not a surprise. It's got so much wax and not enough. This guy's lighting my watch. Let's get the watch out of there. And put this kind of over here. It's a huge flame. I wouldn't say it's normally that big. I think this wind's really helping out on that. I just cannot get this triple dip guy lit here. The second one the double dip seems to work. Sorry, not the second dip, the single dip guy. There we go, we got the triple dip a little bit. Let's see if that guy keeps going. Here's the watch on that. See how well that watch shows up on camera? Not well. It says 1 minute 42 right now. So this single guy is burning with a huge flame. It's honestly a little surprising how big that is, especially getting my hand so close to that trying to light it. You can see some of the wax melting off and pouring onto the cement. That is a bit of wasted wax. But you can see with how much wind there is, there's so much wick in the form of the cotton that it really can handle quite a bit of wind. So I'm going to rotate these guys so that they're facing the wind a bit better. Burn a better surface area. Now, I really don't think this messes with the test much, because if you were out and yours was burning on one side, you want to make sure you get all of it lit. So 2 minutes 40 seconds. After a while, sometimes you want to flip these over, but honestly, by this time, I think most fires would be going, unless you have some really subpar material that's just probably soaking wet or something. But I think most of the time you probably have your fire going by now, and you wouldn't really need much more beyond this. And the nice part about this wax is that if you fall into something and you get wet, it doesn't matter. The wax sheds all that water off. You just shake it off if you need to. Water's going to come off. You can start it with a ferro rod. I was trying to get this started with a ferro rod, but I was having a really hard time with the wind, and especially with the cement under there. I was grinding my knuckles on the cement there, so I decided to just go with a lighter. Get the test going before the storm over here hits. You can see some of the magnesium sparking on there. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over to make sure that it continues to burn. Because with the chard all the way over there, it's run out of a lot of cotton and a lot of the wax, and so it might run out. So I'm just going to flip it over. 4 minutes 30 seconds. That watch barely shows up on camera. Alright, there's 5 minutes. This guy. You know, we didn't get it lit at exactly 5 minutes, but that's still a plenty usable flame right there. So even if you hadn't quite gotten your fire started up, you'd still have some usable flame right now. And I'm betting that's going to go for maybe even another minute of usable flame. Alright, this guy's pretty much out of usable flame right now. It's about the size of a lighter, so I would still count it as going. There we go. Fire's out on this guy. Oh, started back up. Very small flame. Alright, we got smoke, so the fire's out on this guy. Probably about 5.5 minutes. Pretty good for a couple of pennies. This is still smoldering. You may be able to use that in kind of a bird's nest or something, but that's really not the purpose of what this is for. If you've got bird nest material that you can start it with a spark, you really don't need something like this. Surprised how well this middle guy is burning with the wind. The wind just seems to keep pushing this edge further and further back. And I think I got this one lit probably 20 seconds after the first one. So that's pretty good. Going on probably about 7 minutes now. This middle guy's getting to about a very minimal usable flame right there. Getting close to about a lighter's worth, I'd say. I'm going to go ahead and flip this guy over a little bit. Get to the other side, keep that flame going. If I hadn't flipped it, that may have lasted a little bit longer, but the flame really wasn't that usable, especially if you've got wet tinder, which is this is kind of what it's intended for. You really want to have more flame to really dry it out. The third one's catching up real quick to the double dip guy over here. Alright, second guy's gone out. It's still got a coal there, but there's no usable flame anymore. You might be able to use that to start up another disc or something if you needed to, but I really don't think that would be usable for the scenario that these are for. Third one caught up pretty quick. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. It's at about the second one's level. You can see how much quicker it picks up that flame with the cotton on that side. But again, it's going to burn it real quick because it's that cotton. The second one has a very tiny coal. Not sure how well this guy's showing up on camera. 9 minutes 20 seconds. Got this guy started about a minute later. blew away. I think that's about time anyways. 9 minutes, 40 seconds or so. Well, I think that shows pretty definitively that the single dip is superior to the double and triple dip. This video wasn't really intended to show the differences and options for these. It was mostly just a test and something I wanted to play around with the double and triple dip, something I was a bit curious about. But I'm not surprised at the single dip, one, because it's so much easier to light with the other ones. Yeah, the double and triple lasted a few minutes longer, but if you haven't got your fire started by about 5 or 6 minutes, I really don't think you're going to be able to get it started beyond there. And if you really need that much time, you can just always use a couple of single dips. But I think the ease of lighting trumps the space difference and the burn time on the double and triple dips. Then those ones really didn't seem to show a difference in the burn times. If you guys have some suggestions to improve these, I'd be really interested. And if you would like to see some other tests, like something with some magnesium, or maybe demonstrating the differences between the lamp oil and the wax, I can do another video on that. So please leave a comment if you'd like to see something like that or any suggestions you have. All right, thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.